All right, well, hey, parents, in this video, Tracy and I are going to talk about the stages of parenting for flex parenting. So if you're watching this video, chances are good that you've been doing it in the context of our Parenting 201 series. So you've learned about flex parenting, you've learned about the philosophy, you've talked through some great parenting tips when it comes to parenting your teens. So Tracy, let's just kind of finish off this 10-week series by talking about what the big picture is for Christian parents who say, got it, I'm on board, I can't wait, I'm doing it already. What's the big picture for the stages of parenting for them as they raise their kids to pursue God?
Yeah, so for your kids, like we would say that you are in the stage where your kid needs a mentor outside of the family now.
Right.
So and the reason is because teenagers they might respect the opinion now more of someone that's more of their peer than just a parent. So it would be great for them to have a mentor a couple years older from your youth group, your church, or another family that you just respect their kids, that you would say, hey, would you also, using the same tools, mentor my kid so that they can continue to hear God's truth, discover, own it, and feel empowered as they go through that also, but with someone that's just a couple years older now.
Yeah, let me show you that graphic so you understand the whole curve here. We're talking about in stage 1, and we're past that stage in this video, but from 5 to 11, the active parenting stage, that's when the parents mentor the kids using the tools. Stage 2, and some of you, maybe this is where your kids are, 12 to 14, that's where your kids get a mentor at church, as Tracy mentioned, and they're doing these topics in a student group context. And then stage 3, and some of you are here, parents, the kids that are ready for this is they can be the mentor, go through the training and actually have a group and start discipling other kids at church or at school or whatever.
Right.
And so that's kind of the big picture. That's the idea. Again, some of you parents might look at that and get excited. Some of you parents might look at that and get stressed out and say, there's no way my kid's ready for this. They're struggling so much in their faith anyway, or whatever else. So this isn't for everybody.
Right.
But there are plenty of kids who are going to be ready for this.
Yes.
And so Tracy, tell us what's the benefit to, let's start with a 13-year-old in a student group. What's the benefit to that 13-year-old hearing that from another student mentor instead of from just mom and dad?
Right. It just kind of solidifies that what mom and dad are saying is legitimate, because this older kid that they respect and can relate to more, that understands what it's like to be a teenager in this day and age versus when mom and dad were, it just legitimizes mom and dad's role and the things they've been saying, and it just kind of helps to support what you've already been doing at home.
Yeah, we like to think about that. The parent is the contractor, and the student group leader, the mentor, is the subcontractor. So it's not that the student group leader has all the authority, but they're subcontracting, helping the parent out, so that the student in the student group gets to hear it from another perspective. Same kind of ideas, right?
Oh yeah, right. It's using the same tools.
They're still using the same tools. We're not saying just go talk about whatever you want to.
No.
Right. Use those tools at PursueGOD.org from the student page. Maybe in some cases use the tools at FlexTalk.org. Because they can use those tools in the public school system or with kids who maybe aren't Christians yet. So that's a great evangelistic opportunity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But the idea is you're creating those conversations that can really impact a young person.
Your teen will continue to grow being mentored by someone just a couple years older.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's just end by just talking personally about how this has impacted our kids.
Yes. Well, and for our kids, they're in the 3rd stage now where they have been mentored. Now they are the ones doing the mentoring.
Right.
And our daughter is getting ready to go to college. And I can honestly say, and I think for her too, because there was a time where she questioned and wondered, like, who is God? Is he personal to me? And as she started to mentor some girls a few years ago, a couple years younger, it really started that when we talk about that discovery and ownership stuff. And as we empowered her to be the mentor, she really started to own her faith in a different way. And I know with full confidence that she's going to go to college. She's going to hear all sorts of different ideas out there. But she's firm in her beliefs now because she's applied the truth of God's word in her life on a daily basis. And she's been empowered to help other kids do that. And it's just the ownership level there is much deeper.
Yeah, and she actually leads 3 different student groups. She leads a Flex Talk group at her high school. For kids who aren't even Christians. She leads a Pursue God group with some girls at her church, and then she leads a Pursue God group with a couple of girls who are daughters of friends of ours
right.
from out of state.
Right.
And in each case, it's the same thing, using the Flex method. She got trained on the website.
Yep.
So parents, if you want to use this, you can actually, if your youth group doesn't offer this, you can just train your kids. Go to PursueGOD.org and train them on how to start a student group.
Right.
Or go to FlexTalk.org and train them on how to start a student group at their school for Flex Talk. And you can empower your parents. If your church isn't quite ready to do this, parents, you can still do this. You can get those kids to that third stage and make a disciple maker out of your kid. And this is really what the resources are all about. We believe that Christians are supposed to be disciple makers. We're not supposed to just be attenders
Right.
of a youth group,
Right.
attenders of a church, people who read our Bibles. All those things are great. We're supposed to be disciple makers. Our tools actually make it happen. So parents, I hope that you'll get either your kids into stage 2 with a mentor from your church or from your life, or get your kids, if they're ready, into stage 3 to get out there making disciples. Now that wraps up our Parenting 201 series. Talk about this with your group or with your mentor using the questions below. But then we encourage you to check out our other resources online, either on the parenting page or just anything else in your small group or in your mentoring relationship as you continue to pursue God.